Okay, hi everyone. So let me know that you can hear me and see the screen. Make sure that the audio is good. Okay, so let's give people 1 minute to get here. We could just chill for a second, let everyone show up. All right. Lawrence, there is a video on the Facebook page and it has been emailed as well. So check your email. How do you access the first session if you missed it? So you should check your email for sure. And if you're not seeing any emails, check your spam folder. And again, it is on the Facebook page. So I hope everybody had a great evening yesterday. We got a new day, a new session. So today is the quick start. So it's going to be a lot of different topics, but the hardest part of all of this is trying to figure out where everybody is in terms of their experience level. My gut feeling, and maybe all of you that are here could type in. I think almost everyone that's here is already a NinjaTrader user. Let's do this. Who does not use or have or know anything about NinjaTrader? If you don't know anything about NinjaTrader, um, let me see. Let me see that. Okay, so I'm watching a couple. So let me just get the feedback. So Martin says he has no sound, so let me help him also. Bear with me. Okay. All right. So quite a few people, or a fair amount of people, are new to NinjaTrader. So then the second question is but not a lot, not a lot. Okay. So Roz is having a problem. So Roz will try and deal with your problem at the end. Don't let me leave without at least trying to show you something. Okay. Ultimately, you may need NinjaTrader's help. If I remember, aren't you in Kenya, or am I wrong? Or somewhere? Yeah. I wonder if it's related to the IP or something of that sort. Well, we'll figure it out. Okay, so a fair amount of people haven't used Ninja. So for you folks that haven't used it, and if you've never used it before, have you downloaded the demo? And do you realize, number one, there's a free demo? So that's number one. Let me do something here. So most people have downloaded the demo. Let me just put up a slide page. So give me a second. This is going to be very off the cuff today. I just want to tell you, real relaxed. Not going to be a big deal, but I'm going to show you a lot of things. But it's going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be it's scripted and unscripted is the best way that I could explain it. Let me just see if I can I want to get a sheet for you to just easily post things. I have an idea. Let me do it a slightly different way. So I've got this document, right? And you should be able to see it here. And this is especially for people that are new. It'll really help you if you're new. So there's a 14-day free demo. Most of you, it sounds like you've downloaded it. Okay. So I'm going to post that for you. And tell me something. Can you all see what I just posted? It should say just 14-day NinjaTrader demo. Can you all see it? Because I just want to make sure where I'm going to have to post to. Okay, everybody can see it. So I'm not posting it into and I can also post it into the chat. All right. So you probably see it twice. All right. So you can download the 14-day demo. Now, here's the thing about the demo. It expires in 14 days. And we're going for 21 days. Excuse me. We're going 21. So what you could also do is they have this unlimited NinjaTrader account, and you can call them today, and for $20, this is if you want to. For $20, you could fund that account and you can use it unlimited and you can get real data for $12. And you could do it for a month so that at the end of all this training, right? At the end of all this training, it will be posted on Facebook, Jeff. At the end of all this training, you can still have an account that you could trade with us, or in that when the training's not totally over, also, so that at the end you'll be able to keep trading. So I would recommend, if you don't have Ninja, that you might want to open that very inexpensive account. It just costs $20 to fund it, and then you can get data. It's just you could do it just for a month, just so you could finish the training, practice a little, and make sure that you like doing this type of trading. So I would recommend doing that, and that means you want to talk to, their new broker department also. And again, I'm going to put this document on the Facebook page, I promise. Okay, so that everybody can see it and download it, because there's a million pieces of info that are helpful. There's a broker that you can contact who can help you, Dan Shekel. All right, he's very nice and he's willing to help. His phone number is in there. Also, everybody is always asking, what does it cost, to get real data now? All right, let's say you open a real NinjaTrader account. Okay, you open a real NinjaTrader account. Data for the trading that we do, you can get a $12 a month subscription with level 1 data. You can't see liquidity with that data, meaning that if you open a DOM, you can't see. Let me open a DOM and I'll show you what I mean. One thing I never do is open a DOM. So, Super DOM. Hang on. I have so many monitors, it puts it on a different monitor. So, what do we mean by liquidity? So, when you're looking at a trading product, you see how there's this little number 1 and a number 4? That's actually showing the orders, the liquidity of the market. And this is the $12 subscription. It doesn't show liquidity. So you can't tell if there's a lot of orders above and below where the current price is. The current price is highlighted. When you have pay for the full data, you get a lot more numbers showing how many orders are there, and you can tell even better on a more liquid contract, for instance. Let me show you the ES. The ES has 20, 60 contracts. The NQ you see is only 2. The markets are a little bit quick today, a little volatile, it looks like. But so if you want to see, you don't have to see the liquidity in order to trade. We talk about the liquidity in the room, and I actually use one account with doesn't have the liquidity, and our other account does. So $12 with liquidity, and it's $39 with more data that's available. So that's a decision you could make. All right, that's up to you if you want to do it. Like I said, I actually use one account with no problem with the cheaper data, and it works fine. Yeah, Arthur, that's what I'm saying. We're going to post a document on Facebook. There's an unlimited $20 NinjaTrader account. You just have to talk to the broker, and they're real easy to reach. New accounts at ninjatrader.com, and Canadian customers. If you're not in the US, you have to call or talk to them, email them at newaccounts@ninjatrader.com. Okay. You want to, if you're Canadian, we can't do anything to help you set up. You have to deal with them directly. excuse me, if you're having a problem, if you're a NinjaTrader customer, you haven't used your account in 100 years and it's dormant or you don't know what's going on, you have a problem with it, just contact support at ninjatrader.com. And also, we'll have this 800 number in this document for you also. Okay. I'll throw that up in here. So let me just answer a couple of questions also. Who is Charles of NinjaTrader? Don't know what that is even referring to, Arthur. I don't know who that is. It's probably just somebody we talked to. Now, Jeff is asking an interesting question. Is there a difference in getting filled when using different data? Now, let's talk about that for a second because that's important. Getting filled, there are multiple data providers, okay? Whether you have the cheap data or the expensive data is not going to, should not affect fills, okay? Um, but there are multiple data providers. Some people use CQG, some people use Rhythmic. Kinetic is a data provider. You could get different fills depending upon the data provider you use, but it should not be um, something that causes you to lose or win. In other words, you can use Rhythmic, you could use CQG interchangeably, but it is possible to have different fills from a different data provider. There should not be a 15-second delay. Uh, a live account will not have a 15-second delay. And even a demo account, there's probably a difference, Chris, between a demo account and from a funded account that doesn't have much money in it. In other words, what we're talking about is funding an account for real, opening a real account, but just putting $20 in it and subscribing to a very inexpensive data. It 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 is possible that they could delay data in an unfunded account. And also, a lot of people ask, well, why don't I just use the free version of NinjaTrader? You can't use the free version of NinjaTrader if you want to use any company's strategies. In other words, or you want to buy indicators from another company. It's not just us, but it's the way NinjaTrader works. We create a strategy. You have to have the full version of NinjaTrader to use strategies and indicators. So, hey, listen, folks. So there's a lot of questions. So I'm gonna tell you a million things today. You're not gonna get cheated. Let me answer everybody's questions, and then I'll start. I'll have an official program for you. Okay? I'm happy to do that. Let's answer. So ask me anything you want to ask me, and let's see if I can answer as much as possible. Okay? So let me just quickly go through. Most everybody seems to have NinjaTrader. So the reason I ask is because we were never planning to spend a ton of time teaching everyone NinjaTrader. We can't do that, or it would use up the whole challenge. So it's very important. You know, one of the most important things I think that you want to do is NinjaTrader has fantastic demos. Let me see if I can grab my sheet before I start going back through your questions. Let me just look at one thing. So bear with me. I've got so much research and so many things, um, and some of it's in a different place. So give me a second. Uh, they have 5-minute videos. They have tutorial videos. So I'll tell you what, I'll make sure rather than look for everything now, we can't post it all now anyway. I'll make sure that it gets posted on Facebook and so that you can get started with Ninja. Just remember that make Google your best friend, which it always is. And maybe I can even show you something real quick. Let's go to, and I know that a lot of you are way smarter and don't have to do all this stuff. And that's what I want to try and I don't want to try and reinvent the wheel for everybody and waste everybody's time either. So give me a sec. So when you go to NinjaTrader, ninjatrader.com, obviously they have a ton of stuff. Okay. They have webinars, they have lessons, they have everything that you need. You go to the platform chart, and then they've got these short little great videos, okay, that'll take you tutorials, okay, how to trade from your charts, all that stuff. We couldn't possibly teach all of that in here, okay? It just wouldn't be possible. Or we wouldn't have a class, okay? So, but I am going to show you how to set up your charts exactly like mine. And in fact, maybe we'll do that today. So let me just go through the questions, make sure I haven't missed anybody. So give me a sec. I'm just going to scroll through them. Okay, so Jeff, I answered your question. Kevon was dormant and you're back now. Marty, if you don't use Facebook, I mean, I personally would say, Marty, use Facebook for this challenge. You're going to miss so much fun. Otherwise, I just think that it's going to make it harder to stay on top of everything. You can send us an email at help@10minutetrades.com and we'll send you the document. But I just think, set up a Facebook account, get rid of it when we're done. That's all you got to do. I mean, I understand some people hate Facebook, but you're kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face. Um, do you need the JOBB software in order to practice using NinjaTrader? Absolutely not, Roz. Absolutely not. NinjaTrader, you could practice, do replay, and do all sorts of things that you can do on your own. Okay. All right. So that seems to be most of the questions. Okay, Marty, you're not allowed. So Marty, do this. Okay. If you're a law enforcement officer, we will make an extra effort. We would make that extra effort anyway. So Marty, when you need something, how come you're not allowed to use Facebook? I'm just curious. I never heard of that before. Um, help@10minutetrades.com. And this email is good for everybody. If you have a problem, email me at help@10minutetrades.com. Okay. He's not going to create a fake Facebook account, whoever said that. No, just Jeff, he can't do that. He's a law enforcement officer. That would be a problem. Okay, it's a conflict of interest. I understand. Okay. In the process to enroll, link took you to Martin. I need a little bit more clear of an explanation. I don't know what you mean. Okay. All right. So talking about today, I don't know if just everybody out there, I did a little bit of research when futures trading started. Today is what we call a quick start. We're going to go over, not everybody even knows what trading is, but 95% of everybody does here. So originally I was going to really start from the beginning. So, but just for everybody's knowledge, futures trading started in the US in the 1800s, and it had to do with farmers and wheat and soybeans as a way for them to protect their deliveries price wise. In other words, they created a methodology so that they could lock in a price for a certain amount of time. And then when they delivered their goods, they would be protected by the price not going down so much or going up so much. So it was correct, Chris. It was commodities that started futures trading. And so, like a way that you could think of it, though, especially for new people, so futures, they call it a derivative, okay? And a derivative is a type of an asset whose the value of the derivative is dependent on an underlying asset. So in other words, the futures contract is the derivative and it might depend on the price of gold. and that would be the price of the contract. So we're looking at gold right here on this chart, and right now gold is 1810.20, and gold trades in dollars. So it's 1810 and 20, you could think it's 1810 and 40 cents. Every tick, every little move that gold makes is a $10 move. So, and that's how you make money. So obviously the way you make money with a futures contract is just like a stock. You buy the futures contract. So I could click buy the market right here, and I'm going to buy one gold contract because my order quantity over here is buy one contract. I'm in simulation because the price here says simulation. So I'm going to click buy the market, and bingo, I just bought one gold contract long, okay, because I bought the market. I didn't sell the market. If I was going to sell the market, I would be hoping the market goes down. This way I'm buying it long, so every time it ticks up, I make money. I'm down 20 bucks because the market ticked down. But that's how you buy and sell. And with NinjaTrader, it has chart trading. You can put an order in. If you right click the chart on NinjaTrader, you get a menu of all these things that you can do. I can put a stop in, buy stop at the market, okay? It puts an order above the price, okay? I could also put a sell. I really want to put a sell above a long price. In other words, I'm long the market. To get out of the market and hit a target, price would have to go up to here and then hit that target. But the point is, Ninja has something called chart trading. You can hold down the mouse button and move your orders around. It's a great way to trade. So people say, hey, I want to trade, but I don't want to buy your software. If you want to, be crazy, that's up to you. I would buy the software. But if you want to be out of your mind and not buy the software, you can put brackets. You can put your own brackets on the charts, right? And you could, right before a trade, you could get ready, right? By bracketing the current price. So I could put a buy up here. I could put a sell down here. Okay, and I'm bracketing the current price before a news event, and bingo, the news comes out, I get pulled into the market. Okay, so there you go. You don't have to buy our software. There's something to keep in mind though. What if the market is so volatile, it's moving so strongly that your brackets are not safe? In other words, if the price moves into the bracket, it might pull you into the market before you're ready to get pulled in. So that's why our software is so good, because it allows you, and we'll get more into this, especially tomorrow, it allows you to create orders based on time. So it won't put those little X's on the charts until you tell it to. So that's a big way to stay safer. So, okay, so Future started to protect farmers and so they could sell their commodities and protect their pricing. That's how futures got started. I thought that was pretty interesting. I did not really know a lot about that. And you want to think of it again just like stocks. It's no different. A contract has a value, and different commodities have different values. For instance, we looked at gold here. Gold trades in dollars. Oil also trades in dollars. Oil's over here on the right chart, this chart here. You could have two charts open, okay, with NinjaTrader. So you can look at the right side, that's where your pricing is, but let's say you look at the Canadian dollar, 6C 1222 is our current contract. The Canadian dollar, it has a different numerical system for contracts. I honestly don't even know what it's based on. I hate to be ignorant. Someone out there is probably smarter than me and knows. It's got 5 numbers that it's using to calculate. What we know and what's important to us is every time there's a tick, it ticks 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and it's $5 a tick, okay? Or a pip, whatever you want to call it, okay? Chris, I don't know what you mean a direct order as a bracket order. They don't have an automatically set up a bracket setup. Is that what you're asking me? NTA, yeah, no, they don't have an automatic set up a bracket. Nope. Now, one thing that everybody always asks me, if you're a brand new NinjaTrader user and you're simming, how do you reset? See, I have an $80. I practiced a sim trade, and it just keeps adding money when I'm done trading. So in other words, if I lost money or made money when I close out the trade, it's never reset to zero. So there's a real easy way you could reset your sim account to zero. Just go to accounts, highlight the sim account, which is the high number account, right click it, click on edit account, and then click reset and clear history, yes. Okay, and now my sim account is set back to zero, okay? So that's one quick thing about Ninja. Now, a couple of things I wanted to go over today that are important and things that we use, some of the tools that we're using. Everybody's always asking, well, how do you get that clock? Where do you get that clock? Okay, so for us, we use, it's called Topmost Clock. I'm going to post it right now for everybody. You can download it. You know, anything that I post that you download, please always just virus scan it when you download it. Um, Everything that I'm posting is, to my knowledge, a safe site, but you want to be very careful, okay? Because we live in a world where everybody's trying to get your data. So that is our clock. Now, everyone says, well, how do you use this crazy clock? So if you hold down your left mouse button, you can drag it around if the cursor is dead center. The key with the clock is dead center, okay? If you left click your mouse, hold it down, you can move it. Right click your mouse and you get to edit the clock. You could make it an analog clock, right? You can enable it, or it could be a digital clock, right? You can change the color. So when they say analog or digital, I'm changing the color, right? You can't barely see the green. That's a little better. And then right click with dead center, right? I'm dead center color. Digital color, that's the numbers. Okay, analog is the clock itself. Digital is the numbers. So set the digital. Okay. Right click the mouse, holding this cursor in the dead center. Change the size. Big clock, you know, if you have trouble seeing. Size, little baby clock. All right. Easy as pie. You know, this is one of the things, if no one ever showed you, you would probably drive yourself crazy trying to figure it out. And they have a little help file also, which is nice. There's not a whole heck of a lot you're going to do with the clock except change the size, maybe change the way it looks. Okay. They have a couple of different clocks. Okay. I don't particularly care for any of them. All right. And you could change to 24-hour. You could change the fonts. All right. Very, very, it's a great little tool and you can just download it. It actually has other things that they send you to on the web, which I generally avoid. All right, but it's real easy. Right click, dead center. The most common thing you're probably going to be doing is changing the color. Click the color, hit OK. Bingo, you have a new color. All right, the clock is easy. It's only Windows. Andre, oh, there must be some Mac version. There must be. And yes, Jeff asks a great question. The clock is synced to your computer clock. It's going to be synced to your computer, Jeff. Now, that's going to bring up the most important thing that we do today. we'll talk about sync because it's very important. So does everybody, so just I was, a couple of people, there are a few people that still don't have NinjaTrader. Is that correct? You don't have the platform yet? I'm assuming there's probably a couple of people that still don't have the platform. Okay, if the clock disappears from your screen, author is asking, a lot of times the clock will sometimes wind up behind something. For whatever reason, sometimes it'll wind up behind things. Um, so there's a couple of things you can do. If it's look behind your charts, because it should be behind something, Arthur. It's probably just behind something. Now, if I remembered correctly, I'm losing my mind a little bit here. Normally, default when it installs, um, it will appear on top of things, but it's a free tool. Every now and then, the clock can just disappear. If you can't find it, you can't get it back. Nothing solves the issue, and you're just hopeless. Uninstall it and reinstall it. It's a 2-second routine, takes about 30 seconds. Maybe you accidentally closed it, okay, and it's gone. Now, one other thing that's important and useful, I have the clock on my taskbar. So when I want to start it, I just click the icon on my taskbar. So when topmost clock installs on your computer, depending which version of Windows you're using, you can click to the right of the program or to the right of the folder where it installed and pin it to your taskbar. Okay, so you can do that with everything. You can do that with everything. All right. So next thing we're going to do. So that takes care of the clock. There are a million clocks for Windows. All right. So a couple of people don't have Ninja. So it's going to be a little bit frustrating until you get your platform. So, some things are just going to save the videos so that you can watch them as soon as you have your platform. Because one of the other things I wanted to talk about today was the calendars, which has nothing to do with the platform. So let's do that first. So another set of tools that are critical, all right, you've got to get yourself comfortable with the calendars. You have to absolutely start using the calendars every day to see what's going on. They'll keep you safe also. There are three main calendars that I use all the time. Probably the calendar that we think is the best of the best free calendar is Forex Factory. www.forexfactory.com. I'm not going to go into everything about the calendars because we have 100 webinars on them. But you just click on calendar and then you get a week's worth of data. It's a week's worth of events that are taking place in the market. We use these calendars to come up with the events that we're going to trade. Okay. We use these calendars to come up with the events we're going to trade. So for instance, next week, well, let's talk about this week. This week there was an Australian CPI report, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're getting somewhat experienced creating a bracket trade at 7:30 p.m., you could have your NinjaTrader on screen, right? And you could do what we said. You could set up a 7:30 trade, create a bracket, right? Very, very good idea to practice. One way you could practice, look through the calendar, find events on Forex Factory that are red. Those are going to be events that have the highest impact. If it's Australia, then you want to think about trading the Australian dollar. Okay, that's the future for the Australian dollar. So there are a list of futures that we trade. There's a bunch of popular ones. So let me do a little quick sheet for you to go over some of the popular futures that we trade. And I think, again, a lot of you know these. So again, I don't want to spend 100 hours on stuff that most people knew. If everyone in here was a beginner, then I would do that. Okay. But people are telling me they're not. But just a very quick overhaul. So we use 6A, Australia. Okay. 6B, British pound. Okay. 6C, Canadian dollar. All right. 6J, Japanese yen. 6E, euro. Those are the important. There's more, but just, the important ones. GC is gold. CL is crude. MCL, micro crude. ES, mini S&P. NQ, okay, is the NASDAQ. MNQ, mini NASDAQ. MES, okay, mini ES. YM, okay, is the mini Dow. Those are the most popular um, symbols that we use in our trading. We also use grains. You have ZC is corn, ZS is soybeans, okay? We use those as well. You have micro gold, MGC, okay? Very popular that we use. All right, micros are great. Jeff asked a great question, and the question is, will we learn how to determine what size bracket to use when you trade on your own? Ultimately, Jeff, it's the way that a report moves that's going to tell you what size bracket you need. So, for instance, when you look at the daily report, right? The daily report that we release every day. When you look at a daily report, probably one of the most important pieces of information on that report. Let me grab a very current one. So the daily report has something on it called the journal, okay? The mini journal, this area in here. That's the mini journal. It shows recent events, the last 6 usually, okay? The third column has a number, 26 ticks. That was the amount of the spike, the news spike, okay? So if you have a report and it only went 26 ticks on the spike, you're not going to have a 20 tick bracket or you're not going to make money. So use the DMM, the history of the report, to help you come up with bracket sizes, okay? That's one way to do it. And then just studying the events, how they work, and the way that they behave is going to give you the proper brackets to use. And in the beginning, people are going to listen to what we say and use that as a stepping off point. And then as you trade more and more, you're going to come up with bracket sizes on your own. Okay. So we talked about calendars. Forex Factory is the most accurate and is a great calendar. However, investing.com is the best free calendar, and I'll tell you why. Investing.com has a feature for news trading. Let me just put it on screen. It's just investing.com, www.investing.com. This is their main screen. You just go to news, economic calendar. And once you get news and economic calendar, you can scroll down, close out their ad. What investing.com does that only a couple of other calendars do, but they do it in a way that it's real easy to use it while you're trading. Because you see me all the time. I shrink investing.com and I use it while we trade, almost like it's part of my charts, right? And I'm looking at the result. They show the news result in real time, and you don't have to press anything to make it happen. In other words, you don't have to refresh their screen. So for instance, when we're trading the jobs report, that number comes on the screen and it's pretty reliable. It comes on the screen very often in time for while we're trading so that you could know what the news result is. And, if you know for sure that a news result is terrible and it should cause gold to go up, that information that the website generates can be very useful. So investing.com is a very good calendar because it shows you the events, okay? And it does show the events also in real time. I did have to spend some time in actually setting up alerts by logging in. You can create a login and you can sign in, but I have found you don't absolutely have to do that. You could just use the website, even unsigned in, watch news, and it'll show you the news results in real time. So investing.com is one of my favorite sites. They do make a few more errors than Forex Factory, but it's an excellent tool. It's free. Everybody should be using it regularly. And also, you want to check the news if you're trading discretionary to make sure that you don't get caught in a trade and get stuck in a trade right before a big news event is coming out. The third calendar that I use is not a free calendar, Financial Juice, and they also are the makers of Tick Strike, which is a really good indicator that we like. So there's a couple of real great reasons why I love Financial Juice. The main thing that I love about their website is they have a Squawk Box. Financial Juice costs about $47 a month. Okay. Um, they have a Squawk Box. It's real time. Nobody releases live news with a Squawk Box, usually for hundreds of dollars, like Bloomberg, Reuters. They have services way more expensive. Financial Juice is amazing in the quality of the Squawk Box. It's just amazing. I can't believe how good it is. They also have your normal calendar that you could look at and a very modifiable news feed. You could, what you like, you could set it up for the way that you like. And they also have a sort of like a demo of their Tick Strike. So there is a free version of Financial Juice, but it's delayed by about a second. So, if you're trading news, delay is not good. You don't want to use a setup that's delayed. That will not help you. Okay. So, delayed is not good. But those are the three calendars we use regularly. Investing.com is awesome as a free one because of what it does in terms of refreshing and showing you the news without have to actually refreshing the chart. Okay. Now, the other products that you might want to be interested in, what's really important to me, and one of the things I use, and if you've seen the way we work in the trade room, every single day I'm recording everything that I do. Um, a lot of people want to know what recorder I use. So I use a program called Snagit, Snagit. I think it sells for $62, and that's the full price of the product. It's just $62. Um, there are a million. Here's the problem with the internet today. I don't have to tell you. Everybody says they have a free product, but the minute you go, years ago, when you went, you looked for free screen recorders. They really were free, but now they're not. Okay, so just as a heads up, when you go, you probably all know this, I'm sure. 21 Best free screen recorders, all they are doing now is you can download it for free and then they're charging you. I mean, that's the truth. So, you could really dig, if you dig real hard, you could probably find some good screen recorders. There's a product out there called Loom. It's very inexpensive. It's like $8 a month. Everybody has a trial, so you could try some screen recorders. It's a great tool to record what you do, to record yourself practicing trading, to record yourself trading live trades. For us in the trade room, recording, because we're always looking at previous events and how they behaved, recording is the most important thing that we do. or not the most, but I mean, it's one of the most important things that we do in the room because I record the room, then we can look at the trade and we can study what happened and go over it. So Larry is saying he uses a product called FreeCam. Okay, so let me post that for you all. Anybody else, if you have a good recommendation for a free recorder, type it in. I'll post it to the group. I'm using, like I said, I'm using Snagit. It's made by the people that make Camtasia. Okay, 62 bucks. I just looked it up. It's low on resources, meaning it doesn't slow down your computer when it's running, so I can use it while I'm trading. And it's very, very simple to use. Um, you don't want to use a $500 program for what we're doing because you just want something that records. The only thing Snagit doesn't have that I would love would be slow motion. That would be awesome. So screen recorders are a really good value. So one thing I just want to show everybody just quickly, everybody probably knows this, how to create a new chart. And I want to show you how to make your charts exactly like mine. So create a new chart, new, go to NinjaTrader, the control panel, click new chart, and then it asks you for the instrument. There are default instruments, so we can use the ES, okay? And then the only thing you really have to worry about is make sure the days to load is no more than 5. And we use a lot of minute charts. So when you create a new chart, the default is minute. And then all you really have to do is okay it. And now I have a new chart. What happens is my charts, they go on my other monitor. So we have a new chart. The first thing I like to do on a chart, and let me backtrack for 1 second. Jeff has some great, great news that I didn't know. And I use NinjaTrader. I mean, I use Windows 11. Jeff says they have an awesome screen recorder and it's free in NinjaTrader 11. So I'll have to look that up too. I've been using Snagit for so long, I haven't paid attention to it. Okay, so that's great, great info, Jeff. Thank you. So creating your charts to make them look like mine. We just created a standard chart. This is what a new chart looks like with Ninja. To me, the price is a little bit too close to the right side, so I like to right click the chart, click properties, and then just change the margin, right side margin. I'll just make that 50, okay? Apply it, okay it, just to give myself a little bit of space. On the bottom, if you hold your left mouse button, you could make your candles fatter or skinnier if you hold down the mouse button. And then on the right, you can do the same. You can shrink, okay? That's useful. So what I do, the charts that we use in the trade room are very simple, and I use as few indicators as possible because here's the thing, think about it. When a news result comes out, most indicators are going to be lagging. They're not going to help you that much immediately. So you don't need a lot of indicators at the time of the report. But I like to look at the NinjaTrader pivots. But one thing that I did, just as a reminder, when you made that new chart, one of the choices, right, when we were setting it up, was trading hours. The default is use instrument settings, and that does the calculation of indicators, etc., from 6 p.m. the previous night. The other setup that we use when we do earnings is default 24/7. That calculates our indicators from midnight, but it also allows price to be updated after 4 p.m. on stock charts that we bring in from another broker. In other words, we need that trading hour setup to get stock prices after hours. But for most of what we are doing in the room with commodities and our normal news trades, other than earnings, I just use instrument settings, the default settings when you create a new chart, a 1 minute chart, 5 days of data to load. So I change the margin. That's one of the first things I use, and I do. And then right click the chart and I put my indicators on. The main indicator I use, my favorite indicator, is current day OHL, open, high, low. Okay. Double click it and it loads into Ninja. And you really don't even have to do anything to configure it. It has 3 lines: the current open of the market, the current high of the market, the current low of the market. The only thing that I do is I kind of like a different green, but you really don't even have to do that. You can just OK it. And you'll notice if you scroll through your chart, you'll see the lines. Okay. There's the current high of the day, the green one, the market open, and then if you shrink down, the low of the day. Those, we don't do a lot of technical analysis. We always are talking about how, our analysis are the events. But it's really nice to have the highs and lows on the chart. And I also like the pivots. Nope, we don't have a manual, John. We have little videos. Okay, we have little videos on almost all of this stuff. The other indicator I like to put on are the pivots. Scroll down, free, NinjaTrader pivots. I don't really do anything to configure them. Okay, if you like the colors they give you, that's fine. Everybody likes different colors. I'm not going to get into changing colors. Okay. If you apply the pivots, they show up, they're labeled. Pivots are popular price points, is the easiest way to explain what a pivot is, that lots of people look at. Don't get too hung up on pivots. There's a million different ones. The important pivots, the PP is sort of what we call a central pivot. And then S3 or P or R3 resistance is R, S is support. When you get down to further away from current price, pivots tend to get more important. So when you get to an S3, because think of it, if price keeps going down, 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 eventually it's going to stop. So the further it gets away, the more of an opportunity there is for a change in direction. That's why the further away a pivot is, it becomes more important. Pivots also can act as magnets. They sometimes appear to be pulling price into them, okay? And especially highs and lows pull price into them. So a high of the day is often a magnet. The low of the day is often a magnet. When you're trading reasonably close to the low or reasonably close to the high, you may very well have a trade set up that's getting ready to take place, okay? Is that a 10-minute trade indicator or built in with Ninja? All these indicators are free NinjaTrader built in, all these ones that I'm showing you. The other indicator that I find incredibly useful, right click, click on an indicator, scroll down, net change display. Everybody loves net change display. Double click it, it becomes configured. So net change display, it has one important thing you have to tell it. Where do you want it to show up on the chart? So it has a location color. I like it at the bottom right. Okay. And the colors, positive for green, negative for red. So what the net change display does, and it does it in units. This is a parameter you can adjust. So this particular chart that we're looking at is the S&P, the mini ES. It's often calculated in points. So I set the net change display to points, and it's going to show me the ES from last night at 6 p.m., how much it's up or down in points from last night at 6 p.m. roughly, okay, approximately. So it's more than 20 points. So it just gives you an idea. Real quickly, you could change charts. I could change to the YM, and the indicator shows me the YM is roughly down 100 points. It's a great way to take a quick look at a market and see what's going on. It's calculating from yesterday's 6 p.m. open. Okay, Chris? Other indicators that I use. Now, I have not, I really hardly use anything else, folks. That's pretty much it. I use one other indicator. Let me just make sure that I'm telling everybody correctly. You know, every now and then I'll put the VWAP on my chart, but it's not something I use in trading, so I'm not even going to talk about it. I love the squeeze. Okay. When I was a TradeStation customer, John Carter and Hubert Centers, they claimed that they invented the squeeze. I don't really think they did, but they popularized it certainly. The squeeze is an indicator that it's a great momentum indicator, and quite a few. There was a time during the pandemic that we used it a lot more than we use it now, but we will start to use it again. And if you're a customer of a website called Futures.io, Futures.io, and I'll post it, Futures.io, okay, is a website. They have 1 million indicators, and to become a member, I think it's like 20 bucks. If you become a member, it's a lifetime. It's really inexpensive. You can download hundreds and hundreds of indicators if you're a nut and you like indicators. And most traders do. They love fooling around with indicators. Um, the great thing about the way we trade is you don't need a lot of indicators. You just don't. But the squeeze indicator is an indicator. I was always a fanatic when I was a TradeStation client. They raised it to $150, James. Wow. So NinjaTrader also has a ton of free indicators. So, and I would bet anything that there are plenty of squeeze indicators in the NinjaTrader, uh, what do you call it? The NinjaTrader community. They're free. Somebody post a link for me for the NinjaTrader community. I forget the link. I forgot to look it up. I apologize. But the squeeze is another indicator that we use. And if you absolutely get stuck and you can't find a squeeze indicator, you can email us at help@10minutetrades.com and I'll point you to a squeeze indicator. So the one that I like the best is a squeeze indicator. There's a squeeze indicator called Gem Squeeze. There's Lizard, has a paid squeeze indicator. I found a generic TTM, which is what John Carter and Hubert Centers used to call their squeeze. It's the Trade the Markets indicator. And I have that on my charts. Okay. And the key with the squeeze is how you do the colors. Okay. That's the key with the squeeze, how you do the colors. Because let me show you on my regular charts before I show you on these showing you the charts. With the squeeze, the way that it best shows momentum, okay, you're looking to use the squeeze with momentum. When momentum is going in one direction real obviously, then you'll see the colors all the same. So for instance, here you've got momentum, it's all dark and it's all rising. Normally, that's going to show you a market moving up. Now, today it's not working on oil. The market's going down. The momentum is kind of going up. It's not following it. That's the problem with indicators also. They don't work 100% of the time. So you got to keep that in mind. No indicator works 100% of the time. Thank you very much, James, for the NinjaTrader link for the ecosystem to find lots of free indicators. So the key with the squeeze is the colors. So take a peek at this. If you just want to note that, take a picture, right? Or I'll take a picture for you. That's another tool. There is a tool in Windows called the snipping tool. It's my favorite way to take a picture, okay? And if you click your Windows search, right? Your Windows search, and just open it up and just type in snipping, it'll show you the snipping tool app, right? And then ultimately you want to pin it. I have it on my taskbar, so it'll unpin it, but you want to pin it to your taskbar. So I have the snipping tool right here, so I could just click it. It opens this little window, so I could take a new picture by clicking new. And just by holding down the mouse button, left mouse button, I can highlight an area that I want to take a picture of. And then it gives me a window of the picture. Right click it, save as, and now I've got squeeze colors, right? Squeeze colors. That's how, if you keep your squeeze colors that way, it'll show you the momentum. And you don't have to do it the way I do it, but it'll make it, to me, it makes it easy to see the momentum. Today, it's not so easy. It just looks a little goofy, but let me load a different chart. Let's take a look at the NQ. The green is the better colors. The red just doesn't look that great to me today like it used to. So you can always mess with your colors. The idea is this: the colors are not so important as being able to see a difference in momentum. Today is not a great momentum day. Here's a better look. So here you could see the momentum is going up. It's going up. And it changed from a dark red to a light red. So we had a change in momentum, okay? Here it changed from a dark green, and it actually even changed color when it went in under the 0 line. But as the bars, the momentum bars get longer and longer, the downside momentum is getting stronger and stronger. So the squeeze is a momentum indicator, and it has color and size of the bar to show momentum. And it's an excellent indicator. It's not that I would use it during, I would not use the squeeze indicator at the moment news takes place, but after news takes place on a fairly quick report. If you use a 30-second chart on the squeeze indicator, use a 30-second chart, and if you also put the momentum length to 15, okay? Fred, 15 or 12? 15 or 12, Fred, if you're here. Lately, I believe it is, let me just make sure Fred's here. Oh, he's changed it for this market. He uses it way more than I do these days. So use a momentum of 17 on a 30-second chart, okay? And it will help to give you the best, fastest momentum that you could see. See how much it cleaned up the momentum chart? Let's do it to the ES chart as well. Indicator, I'm editing the squeeze, so I highlight it. And okay, my momentum is 17 on the ES. I'm just going to change it slightly just for fun, see if we can get a better lay of the land. But on oil today, it's fabulous. Let me change my time, 30 seconds. So if you do 30 seconds with 17 on the indicator, that's a great momentum length for these markets. Okay, and Fred is a big squeeze user these days. So I appreciate the input, Fred. Good to hear. Okay, so the squeeze is the only indicator. Hang on one sec. The only indicator that's not built into NinjaTrader that I'm using during 95% of our trades. The only paid indicator that we even use as a company is tick strike when we do the opens. And we're not doing market opens in December, and we're not doing market opens in the challenge. We're concentrating on breakout trades in the challenge. Okay, that is the key to what we're going to be concentrating on, because otherwise you're going to learn nothing. We want you to learn one thing really well, and we're going to do other types of trades. We'll definitely do trap trades because we have a trap trade next week also. So definitely we will use trap trades. That is it, folks. Those are my charts. You could set up my charts in 5 minutes, the way that I use my charts. What I showed you here, even to do it from scratch, one more time, new, go to chart. I'm using the default when I choose, let's say I choose NQ. Okay, it's already set up for a minute. It's already 5 days. It's already instrument settings. I okay it. The only things I have to deal with, watch how fast your charts are like mine. Right click, properties, change the margin to 50, whatever you want. Doesn't have to be mine. Get a little more space. Right click, indicators, scroll down, current day, open, high, low, OHL, apply it. Okay, you don't even have to modify it. That indicator is now on the chart. There's the lines. Right click, indicators, pivots, scroll down, pivots, apply, and okay. That's it. Okay, I don't have anything else on my charts except the squeeze. That's it. Colors and all that stuff, background colors. I don't do a lot of background colors. There's skin. You have to change the skin, I believe, to change the background colors. And there are a whole bunch of chart background white. Let's see if this works. Yeah, okay. So there's colors when you just right click in properties. Okay. And then they also have something called skins as well. You can have a dark NinjaTrader or a light NinjaTrader. But that's how I set up my charts. Extremely easy and simple for news trading. I hold down the left mouse button to make my candle a little fatter. Um, hold down the left mouse button to scrunch the price up and down. I hold the control key with my left mouse, control left mouse to move it up. Okay. And I want to be honest, folks, I was a TradeStation user. I was not a NinjaTrader expert, and I'm still far, far from a NinjaTrader expert. I'm just not. But I know enough about NinjaTrader to trade the news, okay, and to trade all the things that we need to trade. So now I want to talk about one other very important thing today. Tomorrow, just a heads up, we're going to download the software. It's going to go off the schedule, okay? If you look at the book, here's the thing about Ninja. I'm looking at something that Chris said. You can also use Control and Alt with up and down arrows. There's probably about 10 ways to do the same thing in NinjaTrader. In other words, 10 ways to create the same function. All right. So don't forget that. It's not just what I say is the only way to do it in terms of making candles bigger or, doing things like moving around. It's just one of those products that has a lot of different ways to do things. But trading with, chart trading, we'll get a little bit more into that when we start working on the software. And tomorrow we're going to download the software. The reason I can tolerate NinjaTrader and I kind of like it, I loved TradeStation, but NinjaTrader, their chart trading is a lot like TradeStation. The thing that I don't like about NinjaTrader is their dome. Unfortunately, I can't use the NinjaTrader dome. So what do I mean by the dome? We looked at it at the beginning of the room. The dome is a way to trade looking at liquidity and the orders. It's a very popular way to trade, but I do not like the ergonomics of NinjaTrader's dome. I can't use it. I don't want to get into why. I don't, for people that are new, I don't want to turn you away from NinjaTrader's dome. You might love it. So I'm not going to say why. I'd rather give you the chance to like it or love it on your own. But I just don't use it because I can't. It's too different from what I used in every other program that I used. You can get other domes, but I didn't feel it was necessary for me to buy a dome to use. So I wanted to show you something on the challenge booklet just to give everyone an idea of why we're doing things the way we're doing it. Tomorrow's going to wind up being sort of an extra day, really, the way that I see it. And let me show you why. I mean, it's not going to be an extra day. We're not going to have a 22-day challenge. But so everybody should have the workbook, right? It's in the Facebook group if you don't. This was today. We were just going to talk about setting up your account. Let me just make sure I talk about choosing a broker. If you are new, okay, um, and you're in the US, you have to use NinjaTrader as your broker. They are the broker. You can't use another broker. If you had a NinjaTrader account years ago with a different broker, they do have a grandfather program where they'll let you keep your broker and you can keep your Ninja. But now new traders must use NinjaTrader brokerage as the broker. And then, as I said before, if you're Canadian, you've got to go and just contact their brokerage, okay? And same thing if you're international and you don't have a NinjaTrader account. And yes, Arthur, I agree. Using the dome, it's not a mouse issue. It's the ergonomics of their dome. For me, it's not usable. So today really was going to be a 20-minute room just doing who's your broker, how do you choose an account. But too many of you know software already. So that's why I wanted to do charts, calendars, and I want to end with one other thing, but I just want to make sure everybody has the workbook. Tomorrow we were going to do why trading on a schedule, and I'll still do that, but I'll work into it downloading the software. Okay. So we'll talk about the schedule and all of that, but we're going to download the software tomorrow. It'll be 12 noon Eastern time. Okay. 12 noon Eastern time. The final thing I want to talk about, something important that we use in the room always, is being in sync. Okay. So there's a website called time.is, like futures.io, time.is. All right. If you just go to that website, it checks if your computer is in sync. Okay. Obviously, we need to be in sync. We need to be in sync because we're trading at a very specific time. Okay. So what if you can't get in sync? You know, Windows has sync tools. They don't work. Okay. When I try to sync with Windows, it never works. If you right click your Windows time, it opens up a window for syncing with Windows, you know, and it has a sync button. When I press that button, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. It doesn't sync me. It just freezes and stays trying to sync. So it's not reliable. Okay. So we don't use it. If you need to sync, I use a program called Dimension 4. Okay. And let me give you the link for it. Now, everybody's been yelling at me all year. I'm old fashioned. Once I start using something, I just never change. But I do change. I try to be open minded. Okay. I try very hard. I really do. I swear. Uh, but I love Dimension 4, and I know it like the back of my hand. And if you have a problem with it, I can help you with it. So download Dimension 4, and I'm going to give you another option also. When you download Dimension 4, you can also pin it to your taskbar. Okay, you could pin it to your taskbar. So let's say you go into a trade, you're in the trade room, and your computer's out of sync. And it's a problem. You don't want to be. If you're 3 seconds out of sync, it could cause a good trade to be a bad trade. And that's the truth. It could. It could cause a good trade to be a bad trade. You want to be in sync. Seconds matter, okay? And Larry, I'm going to cover Karen's time sync also, I promise. I'm going to cover 2 sync programs, and the action step today is a sync program. I want everybody to download the sync program and just post a picture in Facebook that a screenshot that your computer's in sync. All right, that's the action step. Everybody go to the Facebook page, just post a screenshot using the snipping tool, right? The snipping tool and one of the sync programs. I'll show you both. So when you download Dimension 4, it gives you a little icon. I don't know if you can see my icon. You might not be able to see it, but I have a little icon of a electrical outlet. And when I click it, it opens up my Dimension 4 sync screen, okay? And you'll see that there's a button, Sync Now, okay? You don't have to do anything. Just click the Sync Now button, watching the synchronized line. What you're looking for is the time to change on the synchronized line. So just click the Sync Now button like 20 times. See how it changed? That puts my computer in sync. That's it. That puts you in sync. If it fails, sometimes it fails, do it again. Then close Dimension 4, go to the website time.is, right? Let me show you the exact procedure the way I would do it. So make believe we got to the website time is, and I'm not in sync, okay? We went here, I'm not in sync. I'll close time is, I'll load up Dimension 4, I'll get that screen, sync now, click the sync now button, watching synchronized. It changed, close it. I'm going to go back, right? Go back to my time.is, and 9 times out of 100, 99 times out of 100, you'll be in sync. Okay? If nothing works, the worst case scenario is sometimes you might have to change the server. There's a million servers in here. Okay? You would just edit and choose a different server. Okay? If you ever get to, I have not had to change the server in years. Okay? I haven't had to edit ever this whole year. So for now, just download it. It'll put you in sync. That's Dimension 4. All right. Choice number 2, Karen's Time Sync. Now, the problem is I may not have it installed. So if I don't have it installed, I'm not going to install it now. However, let's just say this. Let me give you the link for it. Everybody's yelling at me. Use Karen's Time Sync. It's much easier. It actually looks almost the same to me. Here's the link, okay? Karen's Time Sync. It's a safe, I got that download right from Karen's website. In all seriousness, it should be a safe download. It works, it looked to me like it works almost exactly like Dimension 4. Either way, the action step for today is download a sync program and post the picture on Facebook that your computer's in sync. Then I know you how to do it, and you'll be safe trading news trades at the right time. It seems like a minor thing, but it's actually a pretty big deal, and it's something everybody should know how to do. So look, today was a little bit all over, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Tomorrow we're going to be much more specific, and probably going forward, things will be much more specific and very focused. So Lawrence asked a good question. Why use Ninja rather than TradeStation? Lawrence, we haven't written our software for TradeStation, and one of the issues with TradeStation is their data feed was pretty slow. And my fear, I wanted to write our software. We would write our software for TradeStation in a minute. It's not that expensive, honestly, to just write a breakout program. We don't have to write the whole program to start, if you follow me. Um, it's quite affordable, but I worry about the speed of their data feed. It's not as fast as the data feeds we're using. Any significant difference between 10.0 what, Arthur? Oh, the software? There's a lot of, what are the differences in our new software? We reordered a lot of things. We did a lot of internal error repairing, Arthur, a lot of error repairs. We've implemented new features in the software is what Arthur is asking. Update to the trap trade, also internal error handling. Um, Let me just think, it's been so long now since we added some of the updates. We relocated lots of things. We added the magnet trade, which we're not going to be covering in the challenge. That'll be something for next year. The magnet trade is something we haven't even begun to work on yet. Um, so I'm forgetting a lot. We updated trailing. We added a new method of trailing. We added a new way of moving stops. We've updated the range trade. So we added market open trades. So we added quite a few features, Arthur, to the new software, the new version when version 10 came out. It's only been out for about a month and a half. Continuum, Sander is asking, should he switch to Kinetic? Kinetic? No, we use CQG or Continuum, nothing wrong with it. It's fine. CQG is fine, as is Rhythmic. Most people are using CQG Continuum. It's the pretty much Ninja Trader brokerage. It's what they recommend. They probably have a deal with them or something, but it's fine. The data's good. It works. It's reliable. It's fast. That's what we're looking for. We want reliable. How serious were the errors? No, it's just we're always looking to reduce market speed errors. That's when I say errors, not software errors per se, but errors because of market speed. That's the way I should have explained it. Not that the software is full of errors or bugs. Sometimes a market moves so fast and no software can keep up with it. So we're trying to speed up the software. That's what I should have said. What else? So let me go through all your questions. If you have ask me anything now that you want to ask for tomorrow. Do you need to be here tomorrow if you have the software? So Lewis, I'm going to cover, I don't know, things might always be a refresh, Lewis. There might be something I talk about on the software that you don't know. Um, there is a slightly updated version of the software that I'm going to put up on our website today. Okay. So I want everybody to upload a new version of the software tomorrow. Also, there's an update to the trap trade, but it's up to you if you want to come, Lewis. I know what you know, and you know a lot of what we're going to do in the challenge. Okay. So I'm looking through the questions just to make sure that I answered everything. James M., I'm really shocked that Futures IO is $150 now to be a member. Is that definite? I thought it used to be $20 to be a member. So I'm a little bit shocked. How about using software through different brokers, API like IB? We looked at writing with an API for IB. Our programmer writes for IB. IB has lots of futures speed issues. Jeff, they don't seem to be suitable for what we do, unfortunately. Sometimes John says you can open our links from the chat. When you say links, John, what links do you mean? Mark, thank you. Great training. Thank you, Mark. Sometimes I can open your links from the chat or drag it to a folder. Yes, we're going to have a class tomorrow. It's a 21-day challenge every day. Oh, the links from today, John, I don't know. That's a GoToWebinar crazy thing. John, that must be a crazy thing with GoToWebinar. Is there a link that you need, John, that you want me to repost? I'll repost it. And then Roz, are you still here? If people want to stick around, I'm going to try and help Roz with a connection problem. Let me go through the questions. The questions are now starting to shoot. So bear with me. So there will be a class tomorrow at noon. Okay. Well, so John, the thing is, I don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work, right? Tell me if this works. Does it work when it's in the chat? So, John, tell me if the Karen sync works that I just sent in the chat. Does that, the one I just sent now, did that work? Okay, Lucy, I'm reading what you say. You have to be on the road at 9 a.m. Will not be able to attend. Well, Lucy, you know I'll help you if you have a problem, right? Lucy, it is so easy to download our software. I could show you right now what you have to do. Do you want me to show you right now? Lucy has to travel, everybody. We're going to show Lucy how to download the software. We'll do it tomorrow too. Lucy, you're going to go to Tools, okay? You're going to go to Import NinjaScript Add-on. I'm going to send everybody a link so you can download the software to your computer. You're just going to click on, excuse me, hang on one sec. I can't talk. I'm so sorry. My throat's reaching the end. I never reach the end, is the truth. We're going to send you a link so you can download the file, okay? It's going to be a it'll probably be a GoToWebinar file. And people get confused when we send GoToWebinar files. So look, let me just show you a quick GoToWebinar file, what a link looks like, because people get crazy. If it looks like this, don't worry about the files in the middle. All you have to do is click the down arrow on a GoToWebinar download link. Ignore anything else. Just download the arrow and it will download the zip file, okay? That's it. Don't worry about anything else. Then just know where the file is that you downloaded, right? Now, I can't teach you. I mean, I can teach you where to download your files. Put all your files in the download folder, okay? So you know where they are. So you'll download the zip file because that's what our program is, right, Lucy? And I'm talking to Lucy today because I'll talk to everybody else tomorrow. You're going to go to Tools. You're going to know where the file is that I sent you. You're going to go to Import, NinjaScript Add-on, and then your computer is going to show you file locations, right? So if you're in Downloads, that's where your file is going to be. And you're going to double click our file and click the Open key, and it's going to install into Ninja. Now, the only trick is sometimes Ninja will ask you a question while it's downloading. It'll say, that file already exists on your computer. Can I continue? Say yes. Listen carefully. That file already exists. Say yes. What if it says, I have a newer file on your computer that I'm trying to download? say no, keep the newer file. So just be aware where it's saying the new file is. If it says the file on your computer is newer, say no, don't download that file, okay? Because a program, our strategy is a collection of files. So that's the only catch. That's the only catch. This is 12 p.m., Mark. This will be 12 p.m. tomorrow. 12 p.m. tomorrow. Same time tomorrow. So I'm going through everyone's questions. Where can we get the CQG data feed? Okay, so Andre, you have to email NinjaTrader Brokerage. Okay, NinjaTrader, email the broker and tell them that you want, when you're setting up your account, it should be part of the installation where it asks you, right? When you set up, it asks you if you want data. If you're confused at all, email them at NinjaTrader. Email them, let me fix that, support at NinjaTrader Brokerage.com. Now, the beautiful thing about NinjaTrader Brokerage.com support, they answer within like 10 or 15 minutes usually. Okay. So if you're not sure where to get that subscription, just write them a note, wait 15 minutes, and they're going to get back to you. Okay. But usually when you download the platform and install it for the first time, it's all part of the setup. And it just says, do you want the CQG data? And then they email you your password and your user ID. So you can't install it until you have your password and user ID. Okay. Okay, Lucy, you should be good. You should be good. It's really easy. Okay. Let me just make sure. So Andre, you should be okay. Lawrence is asking, will it install in a section that it won't into it? Uh, it won't install in a separate section, Lawrence. Our software is only one line. It's not like WriteLine. They have like 80 different things that install. We only create, our strategy is just one thing, one for the trap trade and one for the software. So you don't need a separate section, Lawrence. I would think that it won't install in WriteLine's section. Okay. And Lucy, if you still have a problem, I will still help you. So we're going to make sure everybody gets installed. Now, before you go, after the software is installed, everybody has to send your machine ID so that we can activate the software. That's probably going to take me a little bit of time because there's a lot of you. You get your machine ID, and I can't show you where you get it from because I don't want to show you my license. But you go to Help and then click on About, and you should see your machine ID. Don't send me the license. Send me the machine ID. Okay? Not the license. I want the machine ID. And it's clearly labeled machine ID. Just click Help. Let me see if I can. I'm doing it off to the side. Yeah, okay. Click Help. And then About. And the machine ID will be listed there. Copy and paste it. Copy and paste it. Copy and paste it. Do not send me a picture. If you send me a picture of the machine ID, it will not get installed. I'm telling you now. It takes me like 10 minutes to do it. Send me a text file of the machine ID. So James, I'm sorry. We're just doing it in the order that we decided to do it in. I'm not arguing it's not a bad idea, honestly. Um, I'm sorry. All right. I really am sorry. Send the text. Okay, so where do you send your machine ID request? Keyvon, great question. Every note that you want to send, help at 10minutetrades.com. That way, if I drop dead, get hit by another car, other people can get the email. Okay, so help at 10minutetrades.com. James, the other issue is I have to get this update onto the website, and I wasn't planning to be done until tomorrow. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? So I've gone through everything. I hope. Do you feel like today was worthwhile, everybody? Do you feel like today was worthwhile? I know that we are here Sunday. Uh, Things are going to get more intense, definitely. Okay. It's definitely going to get more intense. A lot of stuff is going to be refresh for the experienced traders. But I think that a lot of Dennis, absolutely. Dennis, I was thinking about you for sure. If you have a lifetime license with us, and some of you do, send me your machine ID. You don't have to wait till tomorrow if you're a lifetime license holder, right? I know that many of you are regulars, right? And you're here for a refresh, or you're here because you just never got started, and that's okay. Nobody's making fun of you, and nobody is giving anybody a hard time. The point of this challenge is we want to get you started, and then we want to keep you with us, right? I mean, let's really be honest. We want to keep you with us. And more importantly, we want you to get started. So you want to be with us. It's just that simple, right? It's only going to be $10 million to stay with us. Nothing. It's going to be cheap. Okay, folks. Any last questions? Everybody knows where to send everything. I'm sure there's a couple of people that hate what I did today, that wanted, a little bit more intense hands-on. It's one of the issues we're dealing with. There are people with different skill levels. We want to try and help everybody. Okay. So we're gonna, and I'm over delivering. You know that. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. Okay. And a refresh is good. A refresh is good. Author, I know. I wish YouTube, you have to buy. Author's saying, okay, who knows a good program to play back YouTube videos at a faster speed? What do you need to play back a YouTube video at a faster speed? There's a million products out there, Arthur, I bet. I know there are because I see people using them, but I don't use one. I should use one, but I don't. Yes, Lewis, you don't even need to send me your machine ID. If your software is working, if your software is working, you don't need to send me your machine ID. Only send me the machine ID if your software is not working. When I say not working, if you're not getting the logo, when you enable a trade, right? And I'm not going to get into this today. I'm just going to say, when I enable a trade, I get the JOBB logo. That's what tells us the software is working. If when you enable a trade, you don't get your logo, then I need your ID. If you get the logo, I don't. Okay. Lewis, you're active. You're active. You don't need to send me anything. James, I'm not the email guy, So unfortunately, you know, like we're email animals. We're email animals. And that's because I don't, you know, I'm not the email guy, James. Unfortunately, I think it's a great idea, James. Really, it's a great idea, and I'll mention it to Eric. I really will. Lucy, I'm so happy. Just something as simple as margins. That used to drive me crazy that the margin was so close. Um, and then Arthur, I don't understand what replays you can't play back. Almost every replay, I guess what you're saying is if Eric posts the actual video. That's what you're saying. If Eric posts the video. So all machine IDs get sent to help@10minutetrades.com. Help@10minutetrades.com. Okay. Any last questions? Any last questions? Okay. Everybody seems to be good. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. I hope that you enjoyed day 2 of the challenge, and I'll see everybody tomorrow at noon. Okay. So I'll see everybody tomorrow at noon. Roz. Okay, so Roz is having a problem, folks. So we're officially done. I'm going to end the video. So I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.